Hi, Calero. Welcome back. Well,
Hello.
welcome me back. So let's see. Just give me 1 second. Where is my presentation? Have you been coming to class, guys?
Yes, teacher. Of course.
I don't believe you.
That's okay. I'm fine with that.
Okay. So today we're going to start with some dialogues. We're going to practice dialogues. So we have airport, hotel, restaurant, and shopping. We're going to start with the first one. So let's see. Checking in. So Fatima, you're going to be A, and Calero, you're going to be B.
No, with
What?
Calero, no, please.
So we're going to practice this dialogue. Fatima, you're going to be A, and Calero, you're going to be B. So let's start right now.
Okay. Good morning. Can I have your ticket, please?
Sure. Here you are.
Thank you. Are you checking any bags today?
Yes, one suitcase and I have this carry-on bag.
Wait, what is suitcase?
I don't know.
Is it suitcase
portafolio?
or suitcase?
Suitcase?
Sweet, like dulce, like candy?
Suit?
Suitcase.
Suitcase. Okay.
Fatima?
Could you place them on the scale, please?
Of course. And could I have an iceless seat?
Aisle seat.
Ice
Aisle.
aisle seat.
Sure. Here's your boarding pass and the gate is 2B.
Great. And thank you for your help.
Excellent. New vocabulary that you don't know? Scale es como la pesa. And aisle seat is, for example, we have the window seat, we have the middle seat, and we have the aisle seat, which is the one por el corredor. So that's the aisle seat. Any questions so far about this?
Gate? What's the meaning of?
Gate is like door, like entrance. Es como la puerta o la entrada. Let's continue. Wait. Security check. Edwin, you're A, and Alex, you're B.
Okay.
Please lay your bags flat on cover your belt.
Mm-hmm.
Do you need to take my laptop out to the back?
Repeat.
Do I need to take my laptop out of the bag?
Yes, you do. Tie off your hat and your shoes too.
Okay. Do I have to walk through to the okay, do I have to walk through the metal detector?
Yes, and please take everything out of your pockets.
No problem. Can I go through now?
Yes. You're all set. Have a nice flight.
Thank you. Just let me put on my shoes.
Excellent. So guys, just remember that whenever we're asking questions, we need to pay attention to the last intonation. Okay, especially when it is a just no question. So, the conveyor belt es el lugar donde ustedes ponen like las maletas.
La cinta transportadora.
Exactly, exactly. Let's see. Takeoff has two meanings, especially when we are at the airport. We need to be very careful because takeoff is despegar, or takeoff is like remove, like the clothes. And we have the metal detector. This is pretty obvious. What is pockets? Do you know the meaning of pockets?
Bolsillos.
Very good. You're all set means you are ready to board. Have a nice flight. And let me put on my shoes. So put on is the opposite of taking off. So what's put on? What is put on in this case? This is a phrasal verb. What's put on?
Como ponerse.
Very good. Baggage claim. Let's see. Who's here? Okay, Rincan and Fatima. Rincan, you're A. Fatima, you're B.
Morning. How may I help you?
Hello, one of my bags never arrived at the baggage claim.
Okay, I can help. May I see the baggage claim ticket?
Yes, here it is. Do you think the bag is lost?
I think it's just delay. Can you describe it for me?
It's a big blue suitcase with a yellow name tag on it.
Okay, just give me a few minutes to locate your bag.
Thank you so much. I really need to find it.
Excellent. Very good. The intonation was perfect. Now let's see. The last one is customs. What is customs? What is customs and immigration? What is customs? Es aduana. Es lo que nosotros conocemos como aduana. Calero, you're A. Edwin, you're B.
Your passport, please. Do you have anything to declare?
No, nothing to declare. And here are the passports.
How long are you planning to stay?
Well, stay a week. That's when my conference is over.
What's the purpose of your trips? Business or pleasure?
I'm on business, and my family is with me on vacation.
That's fine. You can proceed. Have a nice stay in the US.
Thank you. I'm sure we will.
Excellent. Perfect, guys. Any questions about this? Any questions? No?
No.
Okay, perfect. Now let's continue. So guys, today's topic is going to be, wait. Today's topic is going to be about modal verbs. Do you remember modal verbs?
Yes.
Tell me one.
Yeah.
May.
Could, may, have to, must, should.
When do we use could?
To permit.
For permissions.
Yeah.
Or?
Two permissions.
For formal permission, what else?
I think possibility.
And possibility, what else? When do we use can?
For suggestions.
Oh, okay. When do we use can?
Permissions and requests.
Ability.
Ability, permission, request. let's stick with abilities. I can say I can play the piano or I can play football. What happens if I used to play football in the past and I cannot do it anymore? But I don't want to use used to. So this was a past ability. Which modal verb should I use in this case? I used to play soccer, for example, or football, whatever. I used to play soccer. I can't play soccer now. I don't want to use used to. I want to use the past of can.
I could play
There you go.
soccer.
Excellent. So right now we're going to be covering could in simple past.
Modals of ability, past. What is a modal? A modal is a word that comes before the main verb. A modal gives a verb extra meaning. The modal could is a modal of ability. Could means you were able to do something in the past. For example, I could play the piano when I was 10 years old. I could ride a horse every day when I lived on a farm. I could speak 3 languages when I was a child. Modals are always followed by a base verb. A base verb is a verb with no ending added to it. A base verb has no s, ed, or ing ending. We use could plus a base verb when someone was able to do something in the past. I could ride my bike to school when I lived in the country. When we finished our homework early, we could play basketball. He could ski in the winter when he lived near the mountains. We use could not or couldn't plus a base verb when someone was not able to do something in the past. I couldn't go to the beach yesterday because it was too cold. He could not swim when he was a child. They couldn't go to their favorite restaurant after they moved to a new city. We use could plus a subject plus a base verb to ask if someone was able to do something in the past. Could he play guitar when he was young? Yes, he could. No, he couldn't. Could she remember her phone number when she was 4 years old? Yes, she could. No, she couldn't. Could you speak 2 languages 5 years ago? Yes, I could. No, I couldn't. What could you do 5 years ago? Look at the pictures. Make a sentence for each picture with I could or I couldn't.
Let's see. Fatima.
I couldn't ride a bike 5 years ago.
Okay. Fernando Rincán.
I couldn't swim 5 years ago.
Very good. Calero.
I couldn't play basketball 5 years ago.
Excellent. So this is the way that we use could in the past. So pay attention, don't get confused because we can also use could in the present, but how can we distinguish what tense we are using? The context. So if you have paid attention to the sentences, so we are using when I lived. So we are using a when expression and we are using the simple past. Any questions about this? Do you have any questions? No? Okay,
No.
let's continue. So we have the little explanation about modal verbs. So we're going to be focusing on can, could, may, might, and must. So we have ability. Help me please, Nelson. Help me read this.
Ability, can, be able to. Examples, I can play the piano. He is able to speak Portuguese. Portuguese, can you fix a computer?
Excellent. So in this case, to talk about abilities, we have two options. We can say can, or we can use be able to. What's the difference between this? The difference is that be able can be used in past, in present, or in future, and can only be used in the present. For example, hey Kevin, will you go to the party tomorrow? I'm sorry, I won't be able to go. So in this case, I'm saying I cannot go, but in the future. I'm sorry, I will not be able to go. I'm sorry, I am not going to be able to go. Hey, Kevin, do you go to the party yesterday? You know what? I was not able to go. So in this case, if I want to talk about an ability or something for future or past, I have the option to use be able to because I can modify the verb be. I can say I will be, I am going to be, I was or I wasn't. However, can only be couldn't or could in past because we cannot say I will can, it's impossible. So for example, if for future references, when you tell me, hey teacher, no voy a poder conectarme, no voy a poder, I won't be able to join the class. You know, I said I will cannot. It's impossible to use because will is a modal verb and can is also a modal verb. So in this case, we say, I won't be able to. Fernando Rincon.
It was just funny for me, but I didn't want to turn on the mic.
Okay. So any questions about this? About abilities with can and be able to? No? Okay. Now we have advice. Help me please, Rincan.
Advice, should and ought to. Examples, you should arrive early to get a seat. She ought to see a dentist about her tooth. Should I buy an iPhone or an Android?
Excellent. So in this case, we have two options to talk about advice. We have should and we have ought to or ought to. So what is the difference between these two? So ought to is very old fashioned. So people rarely will use this one ought to. They will prefer to use should because it's easier. Should can also be used in questions and negative. For example, I can say shouldn't or I can say, should I buy? But I cannot say, oh, not to. Actually, yes, I can, but it sounds very weird. And I cannot make any questions by using an out to. So just in case you see this one, the second one, it's very old fashioned. We use it especially in laws because it's very old. But most of the time, people will prefer to use should.
Teacher, in that case, you can use it as the normal structure. I mean, instead of saying, should I buy? You can say, oh, do I buy?
No,
right?
No, it doesn't exist.
Okay.
Yeah, for questions only should. This one certainly, I prefer to say deductions. Help me, please, Fatima.
Certainty, must and have to. Examples. My phone must be in your car. I left it there. He has to be the one, I'm sure of it. You must be tired after such a long trip.
Exactly. So in this case, we are just creating deductions. Okay. So we use must or have to. So for example, imagine that you see a girl with a huge belly. What will you deduct?
She must be pregnant.
Excellent. She must be pregnant. Or she has to be pregnant. So that is my deduction or assumption. So just remember, we can use must and have to. But in this case, have to is very special, let's say. Why? Why is have to special or different?
It changes depends on the person.
It changes depending on the person. Excellent. What else?
Is as an auxiliary? Working as an auxiliary.
Actually, it's the opposite. And this one have to needs an auxiliary. For example, how can you make a question using have to? How can you make a question using have to? How do we normally make questions in simple present? Do you remember?
Have you played?
No, that is present perfect. Fatima.
So I think that we can't make questions with have to.
We can't? Are you sure?
No, I'm not sure.
Ah, Calero.
What?
So we were discussing the have to is pretty special because it's way different the way that we use it.
Okay.
So how do we make questions using have to?
And do I have to?
Excellent.
Okay.
So in this case, we are gonna use auxiliaries, the auxiliary do or the auxiliary does. So for example, hey guys, remember that you have homework. Do I really have to do it? Do I really have to do it? So in this case, we have do and we have does. Okay, so that's the reason have to is very special. And as Rinkan said, it's going to change depending, it is going to change depending on the subject. For example, I can say, I have to, you have to, we have to, they have to. But we say, she has to, he has to, my mom has to, and so on. Do you have any questions about this?
Teacher, dígale que no puede.
So
Ya.
actually, there
vaya.
was just a fluke. Solo fue una chiripa de Calero.
Yes, Calero.
Okay, let's continue. We have conditionals. Do you guys remember conditionals? I think that we were talking about the zero conditional like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Do you remember conditionals?
Yes.
Okay, so in this case, we have actually it was the first conditional and we have the second conditional. Help me please. Lizzie. Lizzie. Se durmió. Nelson.
Conditionals. Will, would. Examples. I will go to the party if you drive the car. He could pass the test if he study more. If it rains, they will cancel the game.
Excellent. Perfect. So guys, what is the difference between the first one, will, and the second one, would? Pay attention to the first example. I will go to the party if you drive the car, and then we have he would pass the test if he studied more. It's pretty obvious. What's the difference?
The tense.
Huh?
The tense, the time.
Very good, the tense, because as you can see, in the first one, we are using will, and the second sentence, well, actually the second, how do you call this? It is not a sentence, it is, wait, I have forgotten. The second, wait, guys, sorry. I have forgotten this word, clause. So, very good. So the second clause is in simple present. Sorry. So we have, I will go to the party if you drive the car. So we have will and simple present. And the second one, we have, he will pass the test. I'm using would. And the second clause is in simple past. So that one is not a real condition, for example, or actually is considered a real condition. He would pass the test. Él pasaría de test si estudiara. Sorry. Impossibility. So we have can't. This is pretty easy. So I can't speak Russian at all. He can open the door. It is stuck. They can run very fast. They are too young. So what is the difference between can and can in pronunciation, in positive and negative? Because sometimes it may be a little bit confusing. So in positive, the sound is shorter. So do you remember the short I, which is a? So in this case, we say can. And negative, the sound will be longer. So we say can. I can't speak Russian at all. He can't open the door. It is stuck. They can run very fast. So as you may notice, the sound is longer. And in positive, the sound is shorter. So when I say can, I can speak Russian. I can speak Russian. That's it. Lack of necessity. Okay, so we were talking about this one. Let's see, Alex.
Don't have to. You don't have to help me. I can do it. I don't have to wake up early on Sunday. She doesn't have to go if she doesn't want to.
Excellent. So guys, what's the difference between must and have to? Because most students may get confused between must and have to. What do you think is the difference? Guys, what's the difference between must and have to? People will say the have to is like a personal obligation, and must is like not a personal obligation. It's like a strong obligation. So for example, I have to work. It's my personal obligation because I'm not being forced to do it. Okay, I'm forcing myself to do it. So it's something personal. But what happens if my boss tells me you must wear a tie? In that case, it is not optional. It is an obligation because someone else is imposing that to me. So that's the main difference between must and have to. Remember, have to is personal obligation. Must is not a personal obligation. Oh, so we have obligation. Help me please, Edwin.
Must have to. I have to work on Saturday. You must wear a seatbelt when driving. Driving. Sorry. She has to wake up early tomorrow.
Excellent. So as I was saying, have to is personal obligation and must is something that is not personal, something that is mandatory. So I have to work on Saturday. It's not mandatory, it's optional because I have the option to not to go. On the other hand, you must wear a seat belt when driving. This is by law, okay? She has to wake up early tomorrow. She can do it if you want. I mean, she wants. Permission and requests. This one is very interesting. Alex.
May, may, could, can. May I borrow your pen? Could you find me a glass of water? They can use the pool if they want.
Excellent. So we have permission and request. We have may, could, and can. May is only used for request if followed by I. May I borrow your pen? May I go to the rest? May I open the door? It's weird to say, may you, may she, may he. Could you bring me a glass of water? This is very formal. They can use the pool if they want. This is permission, not a request. Any questions about this? No, let's continue. Possibilities. Okay, so in this case, we're talking about predictions. Okay, possibilities or predictions. We have.
Una pregunta de la anterior. O sea que, más que todo para preguntar si es necesario siempre agarrar, bueno, ocupar el may antes de live, ¿verdad? Pero si ya no es una pregunta, sino que pues una afirmación o algo, puedo ocupar, por ejemplo, I could y no pasaría nada.
Actually, you can use the three of them, like in normal sentences. For example, I can, I could, I may.
Ajá. O sea que solo aplica para en caso de preguntas.
Exactly.
Ok.
Possibility, help me please. Nelson, ¿qué está hablando?
Possibility. May, might, could. Samples. I may go to the party. I haven't decided yet. It might rain later. It might rain later.
Later.
It might rain later. So bring an umbrella. They could be in danger. I will call to check.
Very good. So pay attention. I may go to the party. Yo podría ir a la fiesta. No he decidido todavía. It might rain later, so bring an umbrella. Puede que llueva después o más tarde. Así que trae una sombrilla. They could be in danger. Ellos podrían estar en peligro. I will call to check. Okay? So in this case, we are talking about possibilities. Something like a prediction in the future. Something that we are not sure that it may be happening. And we have prohibition. Help me, please, Calero.
Must, not, and can't. You must not smoke in the hospital. Hospital. She can go because of her bad grades. You must not feed the bears.
Bears. You must not smoke in the hospital. She can't go because of her bad grades. You must not feed the bears. So we're talking about prohibitions. We can also use you may not. Okay, so we have you must, you can't, or you may not. Do you have any questions about this? So you have like a little diagram here. So for obligations, we have this. For permissions, abilities, possibilities, certainty, conditional, and advice. Do you have any questions? Oh, as you can see, we have out into. This is very odd. Esto es bastante extraño usarlo así. Out into. It's very weird. Any questions? If you want to take a picture, you can go ahead and do it. So you can see have to in present. This is something that I forgot to mention. Must cannot be used in not in future, not in past. So in this case, we're going to look for an equivalent of must, which is going to be have to. So in this case, we can say had to in past or will have to, but we cannot say did must or will must. That is impossible. So as I mentioned, we're going to look for an equivalent, which is kind of the same in meaning, which is have to in this case. Okay, just in case you want to use must in past or future, because we cannot do it, we're gonna use have to. Questions? Okay. Let's see. Help me with this one, please. Fatima.
No, please.
This is
no.
an obligation.
You must be quiet in library. It is a rule.
Okay. Sorry. Rincan, advice.
Sure. Okay,
Yes.
but just I don't know if you explained it, but on that exercise, which one gives more obligation than another? Must or have to?
Repeat.
I mean, you can say you must be quiet in the library because we're talking about an obligation, but you also can say you have to be quiet, and I don't know which one would be, I don't know, more adequate.
Okay. Fatima, explain to him.
Okay, I will try. We use have to when we talk about a personal obligation. So if you said you have to be quiet, I think that the best example will be I have to be quiet because yeah, it's a personal obligation. But when you use must is because it's an obligation.
Like a rule.
Yes, like a rule.
Excellent. So pretty much as I was explaining, Fernando.
I'm sorry.
No problem. So yes, have to is a personal obligation and must is not something personal, is by force, imposed. So, hey, you must be quiet in a library. It's not optional, it's mandatory.
So to use have to, it would be like, I have to sleep early.
Exactly. ¿Alguien lo está obligando a hacerlo?
No, it's because it's difficult to me to wake up the next day, right?
So it's my personal obligation.
But if I told you, you have to, what I would be saying?
That is like a strong recommendation. Es como una recomendación fuerte.
It's still not an obligation.
No.
Okay.
So for example, when you go to the doctor, if you want to get better, you have to drink these pills if you want to get better. Okay. Entonces, it's a strong recommendation.
Okay, thanks.
It's not going to be an obligation anymore. You're welcome. Now let's continue. Let's see. Fernando, ¿qué está hablando? Advice.
You look tired. I don't know how to.
You have to.
You should go home and get some sleep.
Okay, maybe. Pretty good. Possibility, Calero.
It looks like it might rain.
Very good. What about if we want to say an obligation for the future? Very good. Mike, excellent. Okay, so Nelson is asking, what about if we want to say an obligation for the future? So this is what I was saying. Must cannot be used in future. It is only in present. So to use it in future, we are going to look for an equivalent in meaning, something similar. So what is similar? What expression is similar to must? In this case, it's going to be have to. So in this case, have to can be modified. It can be in past or in future. If you want to use it in past, it's going to change. I mean, the have is going to change to have to. And for future, we only have the auxiliary. Will have to.
But it still being a strong recommendation, no?
Not in this case. In this case, it's still going to be an obligation.
Or so in future or past, it becomes into a
obligation.
Obligation. Okay.
Porque must solo se puede ocupar en simple present, digámoslo así. Si lo queremos usar el must en futuro o en pasado, no se puede. Entonces vamos a buscar un equivalente que se le parezca bastante en significado. Entonces, ¿cuál es el que se le parece? have to. Y have to sí se puede modificar. En pasado, had to. En futuro, will have to.
Okay.
And you may be asking yourself, so teacher, so what's the difference if I want to mean an obligation and a strong recommendation? El contexto, the context, okay? Just remember, context is important. Now let's continue. Let's see, ability, Alex.
He can paint very well. His art is popular.
Conditional, Lizzie.
Let's see. If the weather is good, mm, they could go fishing.
Very good. So, guys, do you remember that we were talking about this one? That we have to pay attention to the clauses? What is the first clause? I mean, what is the tense of the first clause?
Simple future.
Simple future.
I'm sorry.
Okay, guys.
I don't know.
The if sentence is carrying a simple tense. I mean, simple present tense. Porque tenemos is. If the weather is good, entonces, ¿cuál sería la segunda? Which tense will be the second clause?
In the future.
Can I use will? Yes.
You can use will.
Will. Not necessary. Calero.
And if you don't want to, you don't have to. You don't have to go. Oh,
excellent. Okay. You don't have to go to the church or to church if you don't want to. Esto es lo que yo les estaba explicando. You don't have to. Esto es una personal obligation porque yo tengo la opción de no ir o ir. Entonces no es algo necesario, no es algo mandatorio. Entonces, very good. You don't have to go. Prohibition. Fatima.
No, yes. You must not smoke on the airplane. It is not allowed.
Excellent. Permission. Flor. Póngalo en el chat, por lo menos. Permission. Hello. Excellent. Very good. This one, let's see. Rincan.
If I had a unicorn, I will be so happy. Oh my God. I could be so happy. I know, teacher. Don't make that face. If I had a unicorn.
I just explained it. If I had a unicorn, that is in simple past. So I
can
Guys, ¿cuál es el equivalente de día en English?
The what?
Día,
I would.
comería, sería, cantaría, dormiría, viviría.
Thanks, Calero.
Very good. If I had a unicorn, I would be so happy. Si yo tuviera un unicornio, do I have a unicorn? No, I don't. So this is not real. It's an unreal condition. Si yo tuviera un unicornio, yo sería muy feliz. I would be so happy. Pero ese está feo. Why, Fatima?
I don't know, but looks strange.
So your homework is going to be about send me 3 unreal conditions on the WhatsApp group. A little pony fan. Let's see. Oops. Alex. Impossibility.
Mm. 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 I'm sorry, but pigs can fly.
Easy. Edwin. Certainly.
I don't remember.
Do you remember deduction? She pregnant.
May.
Once again, no. Let's give it a shot. She be pregnant. Estamos deduciendo algo.
I don't remember, for be honest.
Who remembers?
Must.
Very good. It must cost a lot. Cuando hablamos de que nosotros hacemos unas deducciones sin evidencia de nada, solo estamos haciendo nuestras propias conclusions, so we use must. And the last one, request. Nelson.
Y le acabo de decir una.
Ah,
Pero ahí
sorry.
Vamos. Request.
Easy.
Cool.
Perfect. You see, now you're experts. Do you have any questions? Questions about this? Complaints?
Está chido.